Now, the South African president Ramaphosa, I tried there or get in contact with John Dramani Mahama, but also Debbie. That may be for some unity, and this is trending on social media space. Everybody and some Amazon share video will be WhatsApp. There we are. So, your comment section is straight to the news. Now, about not too long ago, around June 30th, you didn't come be. Now, Komani Yedino, the UK was South Africa, Mema, Oma Ghana, you could be away. Now, John Dramani Mahama said, because of that many people who know away, there is something which is going to happen to South Africa. If they try anything, Obey a debate to shock them. Now, the South African president so decided that, Sir President John Dramani Mahama, what's from the demeanor or patriotic power? You will try to get to him there, because we know he's a soft man. A lot of people say that he's very kind, I think. John Dramani Mahama near the request from the South African president, but when he had the shock of his life, the whole entire South Africans are so shocked and glued to their screens watching their president being disgraced by the one and only John Dramani Mahama, the Ghanaian president. Now, coming in here, or tender a letter or to come a Ghana and pay for that. What we get which is early August. There's supposed to be a meeting between South Africa, no, in Ghana, which John Dramani Mahama and the President Ramaphosa no better meeting anymore. But did in common how best to what more hand had yama na achel pebi was am president no. John Dramani Mahama said that ebere asam no called no xenophobia ho sam na war put here Ghana for no. South Africa president will turn on biara. Until that man assembly or to Kodan or AFCON. President Ramaphosa, South Africa president wanye biara. Yetim komo do pepe dubia na John Dramani Mahama in order for plane the phenomenon Ghana onto South Africa for over 1,000 onto ba President Ramaphosa wa kaunshi ada oti fi na man for one day John Dramani Mahama oye dodo Ghana for na wa ma asam no we do pepe dubi dodo inti chede ono no ro na man for one nkono ono wa ye bon sadama no tiza eno no se ebebedu mabo ano na ele lecture with a letter I'm putting it before better opinion. The issue at hand no na issue na nkasa no or so much serious government appointees binum and some of our sister stations for which more capture and also credit to TV3 wa capture the nitty-gritty is not the behind the scenes. Now behind the scenes no you shock about shock but more than video no me can we are your comment section.
Nana ya opare ewie mejo so edifi South Africa Pretoria ahim bromo hanamo ampa asemi ebetu kwa no ye pinchen mission no ye troko anase busa ye head of chancery office no ahwa na ye information finise so the attitude on from we no kware and I'm bring am no kasa ide emu bia emfi ho ma ye bokoso apem any echi kran so di nkomo se onim hu bi afa ni office so de kono den no kan de afa ho na e bia nwumre no nsia mokase abo no se ye nsaka na ye de atugwa na ubisa ya timamufu mekire Ghana fo ye wa ha no so ye hu ni se ni den ye kan makwen so mhire ni de na wose mitu monten so na me ni nipa ho bi di nkomo na is Mr. na anase moya man na emu apai dia afa bi e kan se you and I for an I am pa dia wodi din and ye nso ye betu ntesu kokko de akire won na afafoforo nso e kan se da bi entwaye na nke ye kwanye ye papa sanka de foreign affairs ministry Euro kujeto ablakwa eni mpenimfo na afi nso his excellency John Dramani Mahama nkwo ma papa kwan no bi pio manga ne mu na nkwo ne tenase na nka de work no wono maka akire no ansa na afa no woje tum se dia foreign affairs ministry na afi nso Ghana banga ye se wo ma papa ne kwan kwani mi pio manga ne mu ne ye ifise wonim se kwa awoko no de okwa akoprea ne sa minds adwuma ya Asia South Africa nyumaku bi nsa aban so de mo won anase wanya mfa mo no e bia nunti na okwo na enya de papa bi anankomo papa bi ya na wokwa akoti na afa no omka se nka we ye fair opportunity anka ban betimi de Asia His Excellency Sir Ramaphosa no one no edi nkomo no ahwe Ghana fo awokrum hanso kai se nya obia na obeba Ghana mpo so obeba ebrin since obeba so Ghana fo ha no why you ya no den na one more e ka dia fa wan na nke yi very fair opportunity nka ban amanya bi no ebinya e de ahia de di nkomo nenso no dia Ghana mampanin and foreign affairs minister and the workers e twa ya no obua entwa yi kra dia why ne kire se wonwene Ghana fo a one more e wa ha na I for an I no the world will definitely go blind.
Na che say aya fa hodo mienu e be gitum say ye bi so susu say gyinasie ne nyade say de beboa Ghana fo a ewo South Africa o manimu no.
You dia work and say gyina ye we see the no kware ni what we use na nyade radio ni TV so metimi aka na mum dia work and say na say entwa yi dia wo ye na asa dia wo nwene Ghana fo ho wo ye gwa so hantan bi na we to mu na we to mu na we biem and eye for an eye the world will definitely go blind. Amahoro abien o se hia ho kwan na aba adi ntina won enhia na emom no eyi twiro se meba eyi se mema o ma den ene be fima ba yentima mofo na ni bebre
yo ene yenhwe be se na atwe twam a kasa na yehwe nim se na atwe di animu ano afoforo be se aha wotwe ne akire bi a ya twiro mu din no on beba bi pia o man mu wodom ho nsam no de no ate de afa ho
nana eyasam na de tene se na atwe twam so de aka ne kasa na nankrai ho ne se na wotwe bisimi Bruni kasa next week ni na otwa ya hye mo yen bringa me no kasa ide yen ti biribiara se wiemhyenere ba ne anaso wochena empo de akoba ne se wono ma ewo insori fina wode da no wo frefre fie bu na afo di sika ba no won atwatiki di ono
ho commission asking that the mother body take some stringent action to draw South Africa's attention to the fact that African citizens in South Africa are coming under attack. The South African government, from the perspective of not just Ghana, but Nigeria, Malawi, Mozambique, believe that the South African government is pussyfooting and not taking any strong, decisive action against the attacks of their citizens in South Africa. So on the back of that, Ghana declined the request. And that's not the only major action Ghana has taken. I recall that just last month, getting to the end of July, getting to the end of June, some 7 envoys who are diplomats and representatives of other countries presented their letters of credence to President John Mahama, but the South African representatives' request to be a part of those who were being received as ambassadors was declined. So that was the first initial step Ghana took within the precincts of Ghana to let the South Africans know that we appreciate the diplomatic relationship we have, but we do not agree with recent developments and the actions being taken by the South African government. So yes, the South African ambassador's request to be welcomed formally into the country was declined. So 7 other countries went through that process. And following the recent issues of the death, the government has told the president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, that until some major action is taken, we are sorry, but we feel the anger in the country following the voluntary repatriation of Ghanaians from SA into Ghana is still palpable, and that if we welcome you into our country, there's a likelihood that your safety may not be guaranteed. So until that tension dies down or those concerns are well addressed, we cannot give you or guarantee your safety when you come into the country. Hence, the decline of the request by Cyril Ramaphosa to come into Ghana. Kemini.
Very well, Martin. You stay on the line for me. I'll bring in now international relations analyst Dr. Yawo Gebe, who's joining us via telephone for a bit more on this story. Doc, very bold step by the Ghanaian government, correct?
Thank you very much. It is unfortunate that the South African government is not treating this particular issue, the issue of xenophobic attacks. Killing the Ghanaians, they are not taking it seriously. I'm of the view that the government of Ghana has reacted positively to this particular development. I wish that Ramaphosa actually feedback with his cabinet and think about what is really happening and the perspective for diplomatic relations with the rest of Africa, particularly other governments.
Dr. Gebe, did I lose you?
Pardon me?
I'm glad you're still here. Now, I want us to talk about the significance of this. You tell us that, look, this should send a signal to the South African government as far as the Afrophobic attacks in that country is concerned. But you recall that this will not be the first move that the Ghanaian government has taken against South Africa since recent attacks began in that country. How significantly are you hoping that this would drill down the message to the South African government?
Thank you. I would have wished that it doesn't come to this extent. The South African government would say completely. In the middle of all that is happening, the killing of Ghanaians, all the attacks, for the president of South Africa to decide that he pays a state visit to Ghana, I find it rather unfortunate, meaning that they are not taking the issue seriously. When the people are attacking Ghanaians, other people, and to the extent that they are even killing, I would have wished that the president of South Africa would by now take up a more, action and, seriously address the nation, talk to his people. And so putting all this aside and then embarking on a state visit to Ghana, it is not only ridiculous.
But could that have been, Dr. Gebe, an opportunity for both heads of states to discuss this matter and perhaps bring some finality to that? Was that an opportunity lost?
It's not a good environment for the president of South Africa to be visiting Ghana. You never know how Ghanaians will react to his visit. Okay? So this is not the appropriate time for him to be visiting Ghana. He should start the situation in his own country, talk to his own people, realize the seriousness of the issue before even thinking about embarking on a visit to Ghana. This is a very strange moment. The relations between the two countries cannot be described as cordial. It's not cordial at all. So I think that the government of Ghana has reacted, in the right perspective.
Well, Dr. Gebe, I'm going to come back to you. We'll discuss what's at stake and what next steps should be taken. But I'll bring back our diplomatic affairs correspondent. Let's talk about prior to now, Martin, the state of relations between Ghana and South Africa. What is at stake by this, not this action by the Ghanaian government, because we are only, the Ghanaian government is only reacting to what South Africa has refused to do. So by the action of South Africa, what did they risk?
So, Kamidi, we know that Ghana and South Africa have had good relations in time past. It's in recent months that relationship has become frosty. And I'm using the word frosty because you can tell that Ghana is trying as much as possible to use diplomatic means to resolve this particular concern. South Africa either dismisses the recent reactions from Ghana. We've seen a soft war, a cold war, more or less, on the diplomatic front and in many international media between Ghana and South Africa because of these concerns. South Africa believes Ghana is blowing the issue out of proportion. But you can tell that a number of other countries seem to support the position Ghana has taken. That's why 4 countries have also immediately put resources together to move their citizens out of South Africa following the step that Ghana took. Cyril Ramaphosa was in Kenya 2 months ago, and when this question was posed to him, well, he was there on the same state visit that he requested to do in Ghana. When he went to Kenya on a state visit, media journalists put the question to him, what are you doing about the recent reports we are hearing? And he said that they take it seriously. Envoys, and these are his exact words, envoys from South Africa will be visiting a number of African countries in the hope that collectively these issues of xenophobia can be addressed, because South Africa believes the migration issue is not just a South African issue. Other countries have it, but they believe that from the diplomatic level, presidents or probably foreign ministers at that high level can address it, and then the final decisions will trickle down. So he is asking for assistance from other countries to do that. That is why I, believe what Dr. Yaw Gebe said may be a bit, may come up for discussion again, talking about why South Africa has not given much attention to this. They believe that they are taking the next necessary steps to fight this issue. Cyril Ramaphosa is up for elections, and because of that, he feels that if he's unable to drive this particular issue properly, he could lose his elections, he could lose local support, and that could bring his government down. So it's a very tricky situation where Ramaphosa finds himself, but from the side of the international community, it is an absolute no-no, especially when the people being attacked are Black Africans in South Africa, and it's becoming quite problematic.
Gentlemen, I'm out of time on the subject matter, but Dr. Gebe, I'll give you the final words. You say that, look, this diplomatic route that the South African government is taking without holding people accountable in their communities is not the way to go. What steps should Ghana and South Africa now take to prevent escalation?
Well, very importantly, I think the two high commissions, the South African High Commission and then our own High Commissioner in South Africa, must quickly meet and discuss the relevant issues before it moves to the level of the president. It is very clear that the South African government is taking the issue very lightly. You cannot pretend that the killings being done in South Africa, the level of xenophobia in South Africa should be treated as if it doesn't matter. No, we are losing lives in this particular regard, and therefore I expect the government of South Africa to seek out. This is a very important issue. In fact, it's not just limited to South Africa and Ghana. It goes all the way to the level of the African Union. The African